Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. Just want to give you guys a little tip if you guys have this issue, and this is more of a fix than it is a tip. A couple days ago, I ran into this situation where my car was just completely dead. It was parked. It was in the morning. For whatever reason, it was completely dead. I couldn't even use the remote. Remote wouldn't work. I had to use the key to get in, and when I got in, there was no chimes, no nothing. Try to start it, nothing. It was just dead. It was like completely dead, as if there was no battery in it, and that actually was surprising to me, considering had a new battery in just a couple weeks ago, and all the lights, nothing worked. All right, and I know that it wasn't because I left the headlights on or anything like that. And at that point, I was like, I was a bit stumped, because the only time that this has ever happened with any of these, I guess you could call them symptoms of a dead battery, like completely dead, like there's no charge in the battery at all. And I was thinking to myself, all right, so we're gonna start there as far as trying to figure out what the problem is. So I went to where the battery was, and I looked at it, and the terminal was kind of loose. The positive terminal was kind of loose, and there was a lot of corrosion on there, like white bluish corrosion. So I didn't clean it up last time I replaced the battery, if I recalled, and I was thinking to myself, all right, so quick fix, not a problem. Hopefully it was charging correctly, and there's still some kind of charge. Maybe it's just a disconnect. So what I did was I actually wiggled it first. And then I tried to start it, nothing. And I tried to tighten the battery, try to start it, the terminal, try to start, nothing. So I went and tried to find a metal brush, which I had a metal brush. And essentially I used the metal brush to clean the battery terminals. I used the metal brush to clean the battery terminals. Had them 100% clean, wiped them. I think I even put some brake fluid on them just to make them really nice and clean. And I put the terminals back onto the battery. I even cleaned the terminals on the battery itself. Put the cables on and pretty much screwed it tight. Try to start it, nothing. It was the same thing. No sounds, no light on a dash, no lights on a dash, nothing that says that there was any power. So I was thinking to myself, all right, well, next step, battery's probably dead. But I had a voltmeter, so I just want to make sure that was the case. And I put the voltmeter on and tested it out, and it read 12.6. It read 12.6. And I was thinking to myself, it read 12.6, which is a full battery. Battery was completely full, and I was thinking to myself, it's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. Battery is full. There has to be an electrical disconnect somewhere. So I went to the fuses, took out my fuse tester, and tried to test out the fuses one by one, and I was getting no electricity on the fuses at all. I even connected to where the battery cable connected to the fuse box itself, and there was nothing. There was nothing at all as far as power was concerned. So I was looking around just to make sure that that it wasn't maybe a negative cable that was disconnected, and I looked at the negative cable, made sure that it was connected to the frame, seated properly, and was tight, because a disconnected battery, a disconnected negative cable essentially cuts off any power from the battery to the rest of the vehicle. And the negative cable was fine. So the next thing I did was looked at the positive cable. I really didn't notice much in a positive cable, so I actually took up one of these jumpers, a jumper pack that I had, and I tried to jump it, and nothing. I tried to, and then when I got nothing, I was like, I was putting it all over different spots on the cable itself, and just got nothing at all. And I was scratching my head trying to figure out what the problem was, because the night before that I hit I hit a pretty good bump. There was no damage, but I hit a pretty good bump the other night, and I was thinking maybe there was some electrical issue that occurred, maybe a wire got disconnected or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, okay. And then it just dawned on me. I was looking at the positive, and the positive cable portion of the cable that connects to the terminal on the battery has this block. And I was looking at the blocks, and the blocks have these wires. No, they're not wires. They're like electrical connectors. There's these mini electrical connectors, and there's, you know, little plastic windows that you could see into the little plastic connectors, and essentially the fuses. So I was looking at them, and I noticed that a couple of them, you know, a couple of them were burnt out, a couple of them were disconnected. So basically what I did at that point was, I was thinking, you know what, it's probably the fuses. So I actually took one of the little mini windows off, and I actually connected I used a screwdriver to actually link it. You know what I mean? The disconnect wasn't that wide, so I used a screwdriver and essentially linked it metal to metal, and heard some noises. At that point, I knew that it was probably that portion of the fuse box to the battery that was causing that issue. and you know, that actually tested it out to be 100%, and I did test it out to be 100%, and that was it. So I actually went to it was a little bit early in the morning. AutoZone opened up at like 9:30 or something like that, and I was trying to get out at around 7:30. So I went back, had some sausages, had a couple eggs, made a couple egg sausages. I wasn't going anywhere, and you know what? I was thinking about just connecting, using some kind of wire to connect the little fuse, and I definitely could do that, could have done that, but I was like, you guys in this situation, you guys, you know, if I was if I was stuck somewhere and I had like a metal wire, I would try to do that. There's a way you can do that. You know, if you're in this situation and you're stuck somewhere and stuff at home, and you couldn't get to an AutoZone because they're closed or whatever, and you actually need to get it so that it runs and you drive it back home. You could actually use, if you guys have alligator clips, that it's possible you guys could do that. I mean, it's just one thin wire that's disconnected. You guys could just put maybe Yeah, there's a way that you could do that. If you guys actually had like a thick wire that you guys could actually connect the fusible, connect the little fuse that blew. But instead, I actually, you know, got a little bit more sleep, woke up a little bit later, cooked some eggs and sausage, and called AutoZone, see if they actually had it, and they had it. And I took a Uber out to pick it up, brought it back, and replaced it, popped it back in, and just start up. Once I connected, it started up, it worked, no issues. Now I don't know what could have caused it. I didn't have anything on my 12 volt at the time, and I think there may have been a surge. Sometimes you get these situations where if you're driving, you get a surge or whatever, and maybe the alternator, you know, peaked or something like that, had a little bit of a surge, and it blew out the little fuse in the fusible link. It's possible, but it's an easy fix. It's not a huge issue. Anybody can do it. Check it out. If you guys have any of your own personal experiences, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. All that good stuff. You know, I hope that the fix for your vehicle is as easy as it was for mine. All right, guys, take care.